Hi, it's Leaf. Yawning and a bit confused, but I'm pretty sure I'm still Leaf. As you probably know, there's been an update, so yeah, I've been playing Sandrock for days and I can't even see straight. Do not try this at home, although I know for a fact that some of you already have. So, of course, there's quite a bit of content added to the game, even though this update is somewhat smaller than the devs initially intended. But today I'm not gonna discuss the main story. Today I'm gonna be talking about romancing Fang, because of course I am. So yeah, he is romanceable now, and even though the devs themselves say that it's not easy, really, for the hardcore members of the Fang gang, it's nothing. We used to run to the clinic first thing in the morning every day back when it was mostly an exercise in futility. Now, with actual results in sight, it's a walk in the park. Okay, I'm gonna assume you know Fang's story up until now. If not, well, there's the game, and also there are videos on my channel about it. Also, spoilers. So, we already know of Fang's traumatic childhood, and frankly, this update doesn't really expand on that. Instead, we get the rather predictable mental health recovery arc. Well, kinda. He doesn't get better as such, we only help him overcome some of the symptoms he developed as a result of his trauma, which obviously leaves the trauma itself to be explored at a later date, and we hope it's gonna be deliciously dark and dramatic. Anyway, Fang, as we know, has trouble speaking. He heavily relies on his talking raven X to speak for him. The bird is basically his service animal, but he's not always there, and because Fang's a doctor, this situation is less than ideal. After we stumble upon an emergency situation at the clinic when Fang is desperately trying to communicate with his patient's angry father during X's absence, it becomes clear this can't go on and he has to relearn how to speak clearly. X has a life of his own, and he tries to convince Fang to seek help. By the way, at this point, Fang indirectly admits there's someone he really hates.
What's wrong? Can't get your tongue.
Don't use that voice. His voice.
Mysterious them mentioned during X's fake kidnapping now turn into him. It is heavily implied that he is a man from Fang's immediate family. The destroyed photo and some lines suggest his father, but X also mentions a brother.
Worthless. I'll never call you my brother. Keep your mouth shut.
Fang categorically refuses to speak about this matter in detail, but if I were to speculate, as I do, I'd say it's both. Father and a brother. Probably Fang's father left his first family and started another one. After Sarnai's death, he took Fang in, and the delicate and still traumatized boy became an instant disappointment and was treated as such. It's very easy to believe, especially if Fang's father was indeed a military man. So, if I am correct, the kid bullying Fang and X in one of Fang's memories would be his half-brother. Anyway, Fang obviously needs help, but also convincing. First, we need to force him to believe in himself again by giving him a book he used to love as a child. And once that's done and he feels a bit better, he asks us to supervise his attempt to, well, talk to his neighbors like a normal person, and boy do we have our work cut out for us. Initially, Fang's so uneasy, he needs a safe word to let us know when we should step in and get him out of a conversation, which, given what people of Sandrock are like, can be a bit of a challenge. Fortunately, once encouraged, Fang actually tries very hard, puts a lot of work into it, and soon enough, we get results. Eventually, we're treated to a number of cutscenes where he's talking to people willingly and without our help. Success. Sometime after that, Fang, in classic Fang fashion, expresses his interest in having a social life and wants to go on a friendly date with us. During this memorable event, he does talk a bit about his past, and believe me when I say that things go somewhat dark here and there, but all in all, it's a positive experience that unlocks dating both friendly and potentially romantic. Now, because some of his awkwardness is played for laughs, it's difficult to decide whether he's actually a bit autistic or simply incredibly inexperienced due to a lifetime of self-imposed exile. Either way, if we play our cards right, we can now offer him a heart knot, and if he accepts, we enter a romantic relationship. Achievement unlocked. Now, we know his story is incomplete, and it shows, especially during the so-called play dates. His reactions to compliments are surprisingly dark, even passive-aggressive, which comes a bit out of nowhere, especially since Fang so openly refuses to discuss the details of his past.
I've made amends with who I am. You need not console me. When I look into my own eyes, I'm reminded of that detestable person. It is a shame that follows me wherever I go.
To be completely honest, I knew those lines long before the update went live, because folks in the community have been busy extracting data from the game files. Shout out to the lovely people on my Discord server, you are a treasure. We listened to those lines without the context, and because of their nature, we started fantasizing about his personality becoming less awkward, less fragile, and much, much darker, at least for a time. In other words, we were hoping for some sort of a revenge arc, where Fang would go full Sith mode, a bit like Fenris in Dragon Age 2. Alas, that is not the case. Yet. Yeah, it's surprisingly easy to forget that this game is actually a relatively light-hearted comedy. Anyway, when we start a romantic relationship, Fang's reactions change considerably. Most of the gloom disappears, turning into what can only be described as tentative, hopeful sweetness.
So long as I do not bore you, that is enough.
It's somewhat sudden, but it only shows that we don't know everything yet, and there are still some pieces missing from Fang's story. And so, there's still a rather substantial chance for something to go awry, and I am probably more excited about it than I should. Either way, the good doctor is now romanceable, off Rapture's Day, Kalu Kalei. And that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching, and I see you in the next video. Take care.